Arjuna, who was ever so ready to fight, now decides that he wants to see who all he is fighting with. So he asks Bhagavan Krishna, who was his charioteer, that please take me to the center so that I can see on both sides who I'm fighting with. Just want to cite a reference here from Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda, that why would Arjuna want to see who all he is fighting with now? Because he's a man of action and he want to assess one more time the risk he was about to take with this war. Bhagavan Krishna obliged and took the chariot and parked it exactly where Arjuna wanted and said, "There you go. Behold, O Arjuna." Everyone is very confused that why the chariot was placed in the middle. And Bhagavan Krishna and Arjuna, they are quiet as well. And quietly, Arjuna starts inspecting the folks on both sides of the army. And while he's doing it, something happens inside him. And it's a sense of compassion that is starting to happen. And he's just looking at them. And that sense of compassion is starting to take small bites out of the aggression and the revenge that he had built up, because these are all his own family members. I think this is an excellent use case to draw some parallel between what's going on in Arjuna's mind versus what goes on in our mind when we are faced with some tough decision making. Not necessarily standing in the middle of a war, but remember, our mind is also a battleground that we are constantly trying to make the right decision. Arjuna, looking at both sides of the army, is now panicking, obviously, because he had not really assessed all the collateral damage that will happen because of the war. And in his mind, he's telling himself that, what am I doing? This is a fight between Duryodhana and us. And why am I here that's going to destroy so many other families? Up to this point, Bhagavan Krishna has not spoken a single word. He's just observing quietly Arjuna, who is now clearly showing all symptoms of a nervous breakdown with body shaking, the voice shaking, etc. And in that panic mode, Arjuna now starts to justify to Bhagavan Krishna that why he should not fight the war. In the next few verses, Arjuna goes into very detail to justify to Bhagavan Krishna for not fighting the war. Do you realize what's going to happen to our society and our culture and tradition? Because there won't be many left to carry on our culture and tradition forward. And with all the death, there will be so many orphans and widows. Who is going to take care of them? I mean, it's just going to be a total chaos. And I don't want to be the sinner of killing my own people, my own grandfather, my own teacher, and my cousins. Bhagavan Krishna is still silent, and Arjuna falls little deeper into his miserable state of mind. He now starts talking that really makes absolutely no sense. He tells that, "Oh Lord, I would rather dwell in the forest for rest of my life than to fight this war. I would rather beg for survival for rest of my life than fight this war. I would rather have Duryodhana kill me than fight this war." Having said all this, he's pretty much exhausted because Krishna has been silent this whole time. And he just drops his weapons and collapses to the floor of his chariot.